From New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour with me, Deepika. In the next 1 hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. Let's begin with the top headlines. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold high-level talks with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. India-European Union Free Trade Agreement, security cooperation and Russia-Ukraine conflict on agenda. Zelenskyy to meet Donald Trump in Washington on Friday, focus on mineral steel and security guarantee. Trump says Russia-Ukraine ceasefire will be agreed soon or won't be at all. On tariffs, Trump clarifies tariff of 25% on Canada. Mexico set to kick in March the 4th. Threatens an extra 10% duty on Chinese imports over fentanyl. Bangladeshi student protesters to launch new political party today. Key student leader Nahid Islam becomes convener of the new political party. And in sports, Afghanistan eye historic semi-final berth as they take on Australia in its final league game of Champions Trophy. A very good morning to all of viewers joining us at this broadcast of DD India News Hour. Now let's begin with the top news of the hour. Elevating the India-European Union multifaceted partnership to newer heights, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is in New Delhi for the first visit of EU College of Commissioners to India. The European Commission President will meet India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and hold delegation-level talks, likely covering the proposed India-EU Free Trade Agreement, security cooperation and the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Discussions will also focus on expanding the India-EU strategic partnership to new areas like defence, technology and energy cooperation. Ursula von der Leyen will also attend the second ministerial meeting of the India-EU Trade and Technology Council. Besides, bilateral ministerial meetings will also be held during the visit. The EU Commission President earlier termed India as a friend and strategic ally for Europe in this era of conflict. Meanwhile, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Thursday called on the visiting Commission President and lauded her views on re-energizing India's engagement with Europe. Dr. S. Jaishankar further stated that the wide-ranging participation of Indian ministers and European Union College of Commissioners during the visit stands as a testimony to the importance India gives to deeper India-EU ties. Well, this is the first ever visit of the European Union College of Commissioners together to India and is also indicative of the strong momentum in EU-India relations under the current ruling dispensation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The delegation's visit is also designed to deepen and diversify cooperation across multiple sectors. The next report examines what makes this visit of EU chief landmark and unprecedented in many ways.
Landmark visit by the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, accompanied by the European Union College of Commissioners on an official visit to India on 27th and 28th February 2025. This is first ever visit of the EU College of Commissioners together to India and among the first such visits since the start of mandate of the current European Commission in December 2024 after the European parliamentary elections were held in June 2024. India and European Union are strategic partners since 2004 and as the two sides enter the third decade of the strategic partnership, von der Leyen and EU commissioners' visit will further consolidate ties based on growing convergences. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President von der Leyen is expected to engage in comprehensive talks covering the proposed free trade agreement, defence and security cooperation and the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The Second Trade and Technology Council or the TTC is expected to convene during the visit, which aims to boost collaboration on the digital transition, clean and green technologies, trade and investment. On the anvil are collaboration on digital public infrastructure and resilience of key value chains, cooperation on global trade, strengthening AI collaboration at both bilateral and EU levels. This is President Ursula von der Leyen's third visit to India. She has earlier visited India for a bilateral official visit in April 2022 and to attend the G20 Leaders Summit in September 2023. Prime Minister Modi and President Ursula von der Leyen have also met regularly on the sidelines of several multilateral meetings. The visit follows President von der Leyen's announcement of a new strategic agenda with India to be presented this year at the EU-India Summit. Therefore, the visit puts thrust on big-ticket areas vital to security and growth of both Europe and India. The visit holds symbolic and strategic significance by setting the stage for more robust India-European Union rubric, both at the governmental and institutional levels. Sakal Bhatt's report for DD India.
Now, Russian and US teams held 6 hours of talks in Turkey on Thursday to try to restore normal functioning of their embassies. The talks focused narrowly on conditions for each other's diplomats, provided an early test of the two countries' ability to reset wider relations amid a Trump administration outreach effort that has alarmed Washington's European allies and Kyiv. Vladimir Putin said initial contacts with Donald Trump's new administration had inspired hope. The Kremlin last year described relations as below zero under the administration of Joe Biden, who backed Ukraine with aid and weapons and imposed sanctions on Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is in Washington to strike a minerals deal with the United States and discuss future aid with President Donald Trump. Ahead of Zelenskyy's visit, Trump, however, said the Ukraine president would sign the agreement on rare earths and other topics during his visit, but further suggested Washington would not make far-reaching security guarantees.
We're looking to do a deal with Ukraine where they're going to secure what we're giving them with their rare earth and other things.
This deal could be a great success, or it could pass quietly. And the big success depends on our conversation with President Trump.
Ahead of the meeting, the US president said that he thinks a ceasefire agreement with Russia will be agreed soon or won't be at all. Trump had earlier said Russian President Vladimir Putin would also have to make concessions in a deal to end fighting with Ukraine. Zelenskyy had earlier said the revenues from the resources deal would be deposited in a fund co-owned by Ukraine and the United States, and that Kyiv would not be a debtor over aid provided under the Biden administration. Earlier on Thursday, Trump met UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer for the first time since the US leader took office. The meeting was focused on Ukraine and Britain's bilateral ties. The two leaders discussed tough and fair Ukraine peace deal with Donald Trump. Starmer emphasized that Britain was ready to provide military support to back it.
Discussed a plan today to reach a peace that is tough and fair, that Ukraine will help shape, that's backed by strength to stop Putin coming back for more. And I'm clear that the UK is ready to put boots on the ground and planes in the air to support a deal, working together with our allies, because that is the only way that peace will last.
Further, Trump said that a minerals deal with Ukraine is the security guarantee Kyiv needs against Russia, brushing aside a plea from Starmer for a commitment of US military support. Starmer is the latest European leader to meet Donald Trump after French President Emmanuel Macron, who visited the White House on Monday and talked about Ukraine. And to get you more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Shupendu Ghosh. Good morning, Shupendu. Now, in a much-awaited move, Zelenskyy will meet Donald Trump on Friday, and the world will be watching this. What are we expecting from this crucial visit, Shupendu?
Good morning, Deepika. Yes, a hugely anticipated visit of the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy to Washington, D.C. Now, what is in focus, again, are the rare earth minerals of rich deposits of it in Ukraine, the manner in which it can be utilized in the future. Earlier, Donald Trump had asked for the minerals as a payment for the American support to Ukraine, but now it's a different kind of an engagement. It's an economic engagement of equals, as it were. There would be a certain investment fund, sources inform, that would be created, and at the heart of it would be the mining and the sale of the rare earth minerals, and the proceeds from it, the profits from it will be utilized significantly for the reconstruction of Ukraine. And of course, it would also provide access to America to these rare earth minerals. It is seen as an important step forward as far as the economic engagement is concerned. President Trump says that economic engagement automatically would mean that America would want to safeguard those interests. So in that sense, there is a certain security guarantee by default, but not the kind that Ukraine and the European allies have been demanding. There are no boots on the ground that have been committed. We also see there is a significant thaw in the relationship between the United States and Russia. In that sense, this meeting is seen as an important step forward to possibly end the conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy also understands that perhaps these rich deposits, data shows that about 5% of the world's critical minerals are in fact located in Ukraine, also in lands which are at present occupied by Russia. So it is an important hedge for Ukraine to be able to achieve a ceasefire, a deal sort of that at least works for Ukraine in the best possible manner. It's been 3 years of exhausting conflict. Here is an opportunity to reverse those losses.
Indeed, and on the other hand, Trump has not been so sure about Ukraine's NATO membership as well. But would this in any way impact the minerals deal here, Shubhendu?
That is an important observation, Deepika. Yes, Donald Trump had made it adequately clear the manner in which he looks at the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And he had, in fact, aligned with Russia in saying that Ukraine's NATO ambitions were at the heart of this conflict. If there was no NATO ambition, there wouldn't have been any conflict. So he's very sure about America, which is one of the giants of the NATO group, that Ukraine's membership is almost absolutely unlikely in the coming future. However, there is a certain ceasefire deal that America is invested in. Donald Trump does want this conflict to end so that America and he can focus on his domestic agenda. The European allies also see difficulties in now achieving what at one point in time appeared like a certain future of Ukraine's NATO membership. So in that sense, this economic deal is seen as a step forwards towards economic engagement, a possibility of reconstruction, even a default security guarantee. But NATO membership for Ukraine now appears like a distant dream.
And having said that, Russia has also shown its interest in such sort of deals. Can such moves really be a game changer when we talk about the geopolitical conditions and its solution?
Well, the developments of the past few weeks, Deepika, particularly after those dramatic resetting of ties between US and Russia, President Trump calling President Putin a few weeks ago, and then that high-profile meeting in Riyadh, and now also taking place in Turkey of the delegation level meets, we do see a certain alignment of objectives as far as US and Russia are concerned. President Putin should be pleased. The strongest of the adversary has now turned into a potential ally. Earlier, we've seen that President Trump had put the onus of the Ukraine conflict on President Zelenskyy. And yes, as you mentioned, that there are possibilities of resetting of economic ties as well. For Russia, it does appear like a win-win situation. There's a conflict in which it has been invested. The war chest has been exhausted. Now there is a possibility of that conflict coming to an end in a manner that Russia would have an upper hand in the ceasefire negotiation. And then all the debilitating sanctions that Russia has had to face from the West, particularly from the US, even those could be dialed down, given that now President Trump is talking about exploring economic opportunity and partnership with Russia. So in that sense, for President Putin and Russia, the next few weeks could in fact determine the positive manner in which this conflict seems to have turned for them.
All right. Thank you so much, Shubhendu, for joining us and bringing us a rounded perspective on the importance of this upcoming meeting. Now, the US and the UK leaders also discussed bilateral ties, on which Donald Trump highlighted that both the countries are working for a bilateral trade agreement, while Starmer emphasized that deal will strengthen trading relationship between the two countries.
Will once again demonstrate the power of our country's unique friendship. This is indeed a unique friendship. It's been many years, and I think it's only gotten stronger, and we will make sure that it stays that way. We're going to have a great trade agreement. One way or the other, we're going to end up with a very good trade agreement for both countries, and we're working on that as we speak.
And following the announcement of the new economic deal, Starmer visited the Palantir Technologies headquarters in Washington, D.C. Palantir Technologies, a data analytics company, is known for providing government-related software. U.S. President Donald Trump has vowed to enforce sweeping new tariffs on Mexico, Canada, China, citing the ongoing fentanyl crisis. Speaking from the Oval Office on Thursday, Trump confirmed that a 25% tariff on Mexican and Canadian goods will take effect on the 4th of March, alongside an additional 10% duty on Chinese imports. Now, this latest move comes as Donald Trump accuses all three nations of failing to curb the flow of deadly drugs into the U.S. Notably, the fresh China tariff will stack atop a previous 10% duty imposed on 4th of February, raising the total to 20% now. When asked whether Mexico and Canada had made sufficient progress in curbing fentanyl shipments, Trump stated that he did not see any improvement and emphasized that the drug problem persisted. Time to take a short break, but still to come on the other side. Israel sends negotiators to Cairo to extend phase 1 of Gaza ceasefire. US aid workers say goodbye to their headquarters in Washington, D.C. And hundreds of original movie posters from Hollywood classics such as King Kong and War of the Worlds are set to be auctioned in London.
In a world increasingly shaped by climate challenges, we are all exposed to new risks. But efforts are being made to tackle these challenges.
Once you have per square kilometer accurate data, they will start mobilizing actions, and the top-down folks, will have an ability to focus on specific parts where the problem is.
By using locally grown food, we can not only reduce our impact on the climate, but also prevent lifestyle diseases.
I think this is extremely important to have this kind of community level engagement. And some of these awareness programs I am aware of are also providing some individual level strategy to really adapt to the situations.
We have community radio stations. We also have door-to-door information drives.
Welcome back. After that short break, you're watching DD India News Hour. Now, on Friday, US President Donald Trump said that his government had good talks on Gaza and that he thought it was coming up with solutions to the problems in the Middle East. Trump was asked whether phase 2 would come to fruition at a White House press conference.
It's a rough situation, but I think we're going to make it much better. And I think that we've had a huge impact on that since we've been in just the 4 weeks. I think we've had a huge impact on Gaza, the Middle East, and we have some pretty good talks going on concerning lots of other people that are going to make it better. So we'll see what happens. Nobody really knows, but we'll see what happens. But I think we've had a very positive impact.
Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich will meet U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Washington next Wednesday. Smotrich went to Washington in March 2023 to meet with the leaders of Israel's U.S.-based government bonds program, but did not meet any officials from Biden's administration. The pro-settler Smotrich had clashed with Biden officials, including then Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, over aid and banking arrangements for the Palestinian territories. Israel announced on Thursday it was sending negotiators to Cairo for talks seeking to extend the first phase of a ceasefire due to expire in 2 days. Now it aims at securing the release of more hostages while delaying any final deal on Gaza's future. The announcement came after Hamas handed over 4 bodies of hostages, the last due to be released under the terms of the 6-week first phase of the ceasefire that started on the 19th of January. Talks are yet to begin on a second phase that would ultimately lead to a permanent end to the conflict. The warring sides have not spelled out what would happen beyond Saturday if the first phase of the ceasefire expires with no agreement. Egypt and Qatar are mediating between Israel and Hamas with the backing of the United States. The initial phase of the ceasefire included the handover of 33 Israeli hostages in return for some 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees held in Israeli jails. Fighting was paused and Israeli troops withdrew from some positions in Gaza. Talks over the second phase had been meant to start earlier this month, intended to secure the release of the remaining hostages and the full withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. Israel's military on Thursday acknowledged its complete failure to prevent Hamas's 7th of October attack that took place in the year 2023 and the deadliest in the nation's history. It was revealed in an internal probe published weeks into a fragile truce. A senior military official said that the military acknowledges it was overconfident and had misconceptions about Hamas's military capabilities before the attack. Following the probe's release, Israel's military chief, General Herzi Halevi, took the responsibility. He had already resigned last month, citing 7th of October failure. A ramming attack at a bus stop in northern Israel on Thursday injured 14 people. One of them is in critical condition. Israeli police said the suspected attacker had nationalistic motivations and was a Palestinian from Yemen in the north of the West Bank who was married to an Israeli citizen. Preliminary findings indicate that he deliberately targeted civilians waiting at a bus stop at Karkur Junction. A suspect was apprehended. Israeli-Palestinian violence has spiked in the West Bank. Israel sent tanks into the northern West Bank for the first time in over 20 years on Sunday and ordered the military to prepare for an extended stay. A California federal judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration from enforcing mass firings of federal employees, halting an effort to reduce the U.S. workforce. Now, U.S. District Judge William Alsup in San Francisco ruled that the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, OPM, lacked the authority to order the firings of probationary employees who typically have less than a year of service. The move now follows a January 20th memo and a February the 14th email instructing federal agencies to identify and terminate non-mission critical probationary workers. Judge expressed concerns that the mass layoffs would have a detrimental effect on government functions and described probationary workers are essential to the renewal of the federal workforce. The Trump administration, spearheaded by President Donald Trump and Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, aims at streamlining the federal government. However, Alsup emphasized that agencies cannot unilaterally implement mass cuts. The judge's decision remains temporary while further legal proceedings unfold, leaving federal agencies in limbo. Now, U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID workers said goodbye to their headquarters in Washington, D.C. after being terminated due to drastic cuts in foreign aid by the Trump administration. The workers were allowed to briefly return to collect their personal belongings and clear out their desks. The cuts, which totaled over 90% of USAID's aid contracts, were part of Trump's America First policy. A 90-day pause on all foreign aid was ordered in January to review projects funded by U.S. taxpayers' money. Now, this moves threw U.S. aid into turmoil, halting operations worldwide and pausing life-saving aid and humanitarian relief efforts. Despite the widespread cuts, some critical programs will continue, including food assistance, HIV medical treatments, and other critical support. However, several major HIV/AIDS programs in South Africa and a global non-profit working on malaria and maternal health had their contracts cancelled. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio met Mexico's Foreign Secretary Juan Ramon in Washington, D.C. for bilateral talks. Mexico is working with the United States to reach an agreement on tariffs before an impending deadline. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump had mentioned earlier that the new tariffs would take effect on the 2nd of April, about a month later than a previous deadline of 4th of March. Senior Mexican government officials are attending a flurry of meetings with U.S. counterparts in Washington this week as bilateral tensions simmer over tariffs, drug gangs, and migration. Now, the U.S.-Mexico border is set to record its lowest migrant arrest in history this February, which is just 8,500. According to DHA spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin, arrests will hit record lows, a stark contrast to the 141,000 in the month of February 2024. Now, since Donald Trump taking his office has implemented sweeping measures, including a broad asylum ban and military deployments at the border, arguing that stricter enforcement was needed after a surge in illegal crossings under former President Joe Biden. The administration has also forged agreements with Mexico and Central America to take back deported migrants. However, the American Civil Liberties Union has taken legal action, claiming Trump's asylum restrictions violate U.S. and international laws. Now, hundreds fled as a powerful explosion struck an M23 rebel rally in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, the city of Bukavu, on Thursday. At least 11 people were killed and dozens wounded, according to M23 leader Corneille Nangaa, who blamed President Felix Tshisekedi for the violence. Congo's presidency, however, pointed fingers at a foreign army illegally present on Congolese soil, widely believed to be Rwanda-backed forces. No evidence was provided by either of the sides. Verified footage showed panicked crowds and injured victims being evacuated. The blast comes as M23 rebels continue their advance, having seized Bukavu and Goma. Congo, the UN and Western powers accused Rwanda of supporting M23, an allegation Rwanda firmly denies. The National Citizens Party, a new political party of the students who were at the forefront of last year's protest that ousted then Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, is going to be floated today at Manik Mia Avenue in Dhaka. The decision was finalized in a joint meeting of the Jatiyo Nagoric Committee and the Anti-Discrimination Student Movement held at the Nagoric Committee's central office in the capital on Thursday afternoon. Former interim government advisor Nahid Islam has been appointed as the party's convener, with Akhtar Hossain as the member secretary. Now, beside Hasnat Abdullah has been appointed as the chief organizer for the South, Sarjeez Alam as the chief organizer for the North, and Nasiruddin Patwari as the chief coordinator, reports the United News of Bangladesh. A grand gathering is also planned with invitations extended to major political figures except those from the former ruling coalition. Diplomats from 51 nations have also been invited. And to get us latest on this, I am joined by Naval Singh Parmar from Dhaka. Good morning, Naval Singh. Tell us more about this agenda of this new political party.
Well, the agenda of the new political party, as per their statement, is the student first, Bangladesh first. But in last 6 months, some of the organizers or the promoter of the party were part of the government, and their action have created suspicions among the common people in Bangladesh, because earlier they were having a good amount of goodwill among the common people. They were the crucial in the uprooting the Sheikh Hasina-led government, because people were having some grievances against the former government. But in last 6 months, their action, certain action, created the suspicious among the common people. So they want to fill a gap created by the political crisis in Bangladesh, and they want to fill the landscape of Bangladesh. But how they will perform, time will tell about that things. They have expectation that around 3 lakh people will be there at the venue when the party will be launched. But the media persons and those who are aware about the situation in Bangladesh, they are saying that this many people may not be there, and their agenda and their action time will tell what they can do, because there are already many political parties in Bangladesh and they have their own strength. Awami League is having a very good hold still in among its vote bank, and they have a very good organizations too. At the same time, Bangladesh Nationalist Party and Jamaat-e-Islamist Party is also there. That is the Islamist party in Bangladesh. So the time will tell what will happen with these parties' future. But yes, they are venturing to have a new political party in Bangladesh.
But how different will it be from the existing political landscape there in Bangladesh?
Actually, law and order situation here in Bangladesh is very fragile. In last 2 months, the main incidents of looting and theft and murder and rape, the violence against the women have increased, violence against the minority have have increased. So law and order situation is very serious, and that shows the army chief of Bangladesh warned the political leaders about the loss of sovereignty of Bangladesh if they continues mudslinging and they don't cooperate with each other, and they will not set aside their personal interest. So situation is very critical here in Bangladesh, and people are also facing the hit of the political crisis as well as law and order crisis. According to some estimate, around 35 lakhs people from Dhaka left for their home in countryside. So they were here in here in Dhaka to earn livelihood, for better livelihood, but there is a dearth of opportunity here in Dhaka post revolution, post uprising here in Bangladesh, and they left for their home in village. So that shows the symptoms of economic condition here in Bangladesh.
Also, last quick question, what are the likely challenges the new party may face considering the continued unrest there?
The credibility crisis, they are facing credibility crisis right now also, because their action, last month they were promoting the vandalization of the Awami League party leader as well as the Sheikh Mujib memorial. So many of the student leaders who were promoting on their social media pages about for the vandalization of the property of the Israel political party, Israel government's leader. So people will not accept the person as a leader, or they will feel difficulty to accept a leader, a person who, as a who is involved in vandalization kind of activity.
All right, thank you so much, Naval Singh Parmar, for joining us from Bangladesh and bringing us the latest information on the new party formation there. You're watching DD India News Hour, and now it's time to take a look at other stories making news around the world in brief. In response to Japan's rapidly aging population and a declining working age population, Waseda University has developed EREC, a humanoid robot designed to assist with elderly care tasks, addressing the country's shortage of care workers. Researchers aim at making such robots commonplace by the year 2040. Now, in recent years, more than a quarter of Japan's population is aged 65 and older, making it the oldest population among major economies. Hundreds of original movie posters from Hollywood classics such as King Kong and War of the Worlds are set to be auctioned in London in March as one of the world's largest private collections that goes on sale. The incredible collection is one of the world's largest private assemblies of movie posters, offering a unique glimpse into the rich history of cinema. Time to take a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. India celebrates National Science Day today, commemorating the discovery of Raman effect. Up next, all you need to know about India's gaming revolution that goes global. And India's Paraplegic Rehabilitation Centre in Pune stands as a beacon of hope, transforming the lives of India's bravest warriors.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked, we just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Time now to quickly recap the top headlines of the hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold high-level talks with European Union Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. India-EU Free Trade Agreement, security cooperation and Russia-Ukraine conflict on the agenda. Zelenskyy to meet Donald Trump in Washington on Friday. Focus on mineral, steel and security guarantee. Trump says Russia-Ukraine ceasefire will be agreed soon or won't at all. On tariffs, Trump clarifies tariff of 25% on Canada. Mexico, set to kick off on the 4th of March, threatens an extra 10% duty on Chinese imports over fentanyl. Bangladeshi student protesters to launch new political party today. Key student leader Nahid Islam becomes convener of the new political party. And in sports, Afghanistan eye historic semi-final berth as they take on Australia at Champions Trophy. Welcome back after that quick headline recap. Well, India's Home Minister Amit Shah will chair a key meeting to review law and order situation in Delhi today. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta and senior police officials, including the Police Commissioner and all special commissioners at the Ministry of Home Affairs, is likely to be in attendance. According to sources, the meeting aims at strengthening coordination between the Delhi government and Delhi police. Discussions are also likely to focus on enhancing the law and order situation in the capital and ensuring better collaboration between the two authorities. Finance and Revenue Secretary Tuhin Kanta Pandey has been now appointed as the new chairman of the Securities and Exchange Board of SEBI. The Appointments Committee of the Cabinet on Thursday approved his appointment for an initial term of 3 years. Well, Tuhin Kanta Pandey is a 1987 batch IAS officer of the Odisha cadre. As SEBI chairman, Tuhin Kanta Pandey will play a key role in strengthening market regulations, ensuring investor protection and overseeing reforms in the capital markets. His extensive experience in finance and economic policy is expected to aid in the effective functioning of the regulatory body. National Science Day is being celebrated today to commemorate the discovery of the Raman effect made by the eminent physicist Sir C.V. Raman. The theme for this year is Empowering Indian Youth for Global Leadership in Science and Innovation for Viksit Bharat or Developed India. It emphasizes the role of young minds in driving India's scientific and technological progress, aligning with the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 that aims for a developed and self-reliant India. National Science Day celebrates India's scientific progress and commitment to innovation. With advancements in quantum computing, AI, geospatial technology and climate research, alongside initiatives fostering inclusivity and young talent, India is shaping a future driven by science and technology. As the nation moves towards Viksit Bharat 2047, continued investments in research and innovation will be key to global leadership and sustainable growth. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended greetings on the National Science Day. In a tweet, he said, and I quote him, "Greetings on National Science Day to those passionate about science, particularly our young innovators. Let's keep popularizing science and innovation and leveraging science to build a Viksit Bharat." During this month's Mann Ki Baat, had talked about one day as a scientist, where the youth take part in some or the other scientific activity, unquote. Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Singh will take part in the celebration of National Science Day at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi, while Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will also attend the National Science Day celebrations in Telangana's capital city of Hyderabad. And now it's time to take a look at the journey of C.V. Raman, the first Asian to receive a Nobel Prize for Physics that continue to inspire generations of science enthusiasts. India's largest and most influential AVGC XR conference, Bengaluru GAFX 2025, is taking place in Bengaluru. Running from the 27th of February till the 1st of March, the conference brings together key industry leaders. Information and Broadcasting Secretary Sanjay Jaju, speaking at the event, hailed WAVES as the first event to unite the global media and entertainment industry under one roof.
Board members have decided that the WAVES is now going to be held from 1st May till 4th May in Mumbai at the Geo Center. It will be one of its kind event because this is the first time all the verticals of media entertainment are going to get together. Now we have events like this. I mean, this is one vertical, but there are so many verticals in the media entertainment pie. You have the traditional news, you have the traditional television, you have the traditional radio, you have the GAFX segment, you have the film segment, as we all know about it. You also now have the new media, you have the social media. This is arguably the world's first convergence event where all these verticals are being put together.
Waves Bazaar is a e-marketplace wherein the buyers and sellers can meet, and there is a wonderful opportunity for networking and present your products, and also it is an opportunity for buyers to identify the right products. It's a wonderful opportunity for both buyers and sellers alike. That is the Waves Bazaar. The URL of the same is also displayed in your screen. You can log into it and the registration is free. Please make the maximum use of it.
Media and entertainment industry people across the globe are going to come there, and you will see some of the biggest names like Steven Spielberg and James Cameron and many of the technicians coming to that particular platform. This is organized by the industry, for the industry, and people like Rajinikanth, Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan ji, and as well as all the film fraternities are backing this up, and they are really putting in all the efforts to make this as a very big event.
Animation company, we are developing IPs for animation content, for animation, gaming, and comics as well. So we are developing a bunch of IPs right now, and one of our IPs is Academy of Gods. So we are reaching out for the broadcasters for the animation, and we did apply for Waves 2020 for the competition of IP India.
The inaugural Next Conclave 2025 is taking place in New Delhi on Friday. It is poised to be a pivotal event for global governance, technology and economic transformation. Professor Carlos Montes of the University of Cambridge Business School is in India to participate in the inaugural conclave. Ahead of it, he said, Unified Payments Interface or UPI has a potential for other countries to learn from the experience and get the ideas on how to adopt it in their own countries. During January 2025, around 17 billion transactions has been made through UPI. After the demonstration of UPI on Thursday in the national capital, Montes said that glad to see the UPI payment system. The growth of UPI shows that they all work together on making sure that technology that they develop is user-friendly for citizens and that there is a regular and constant innovation in that aspect. Centered around the theme of shaping the future of humanity, this groundbreaking event will convene 100 influential leaders and visionaries, 120 plus countries, 64 platforms and 12 different languages from around the world to discuss, explore and catalyze ideas to address pressing global challenges and drive impactful solutions. India's gaming revolution goes global with 20 winning game developers selected to participate at Game Developers Conference from the 17th till the 21st of March in San Francisco. The 20 developers were declared at the end of the grand finale of third edition of Bharat Tech Triumph program. They will showcase their groundbreaking games and indigenous gaming IPs to a global audience of investors, publishers and industry pioneers. Over 3 editions, BTTP has witnessed participation from over 1,500 of India's best game developers and students, making it the definitive platform for fostering innovation and entrepreneurship for Made in India, for the world, technology and IP or intellectual property. The teams will then next month participate in the Startup Mahakumbh from the 3rd till the 5th of April in India and the World Audiovisual Entertainment Summit of Waves from the 1st till the 4th of May in India. The Indian gaming opportunity currently stands at $4 billion and is poised to breach the market size of $60 billion by the year 2034. Now, in the city of Pune, in the Indian state of Maharashtra, the Paraplegic Rehabilitation Centre, or the PRC, stands as a beacon of hope for soldiers with life-altering injuries. Established in the year 1974 after the 1971 Bangladesh War, the PRC provides specialized medical care, emotional healing and educational, along with skill training and adaptive sports. From computer diplomas to wheelchair basketball championships, the PRC helps the soldier rebuild their lives with dignity and purpose. The centre is known as a home of courage and unbreakable spirit, showcasing the stories of India's bravest warriors. And now let's take a look at news making brief around the country in quick manner. In the Poonch district of the Indian Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, a car fell into the Poonch River near Kalai village on Thursday around 7:30 p.m. local time. The police, SDRF and district administration teams managed to pull the vehicle out and rushed 7 injured passengers to the hospital, with 3 referred to Rajuri. The search continues for other potential passengers. The road has been temporarily closed as rescue efforts remain ongoing. The Srinagar-Leh National Highway has been closed due to heavy snowfall in the higher reaches. Dras and Ladakh received 2 feet of snow in the last 24 hours, leading to the closure of many inter-district roads, including the Srinagar-Leh Highway. Other high-altitude areas affected by snowfall include Zojila Pass, Sinthan Top and Amarnath Cave. Time to take a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. Sports fraternity mourns the death of Russia's test master Boris Spassky.
In a world increasingly shaped by climate challenges, we are all exposed to new risks. But efforts are being made to tackle these challenges.
Once you have per square kilometer accurate data, they will start mobilizing actions, and the top-down folks, will have an ability to focus on specific parts where the problem is.
By using locally grown food, we can not only reduce our impact on the climate, but also prevent lifestyle diseases.
I think this is extremely important to have this kind of community level engagement. And some of these awareness programs I am aware of are also providing some individual level strategy to really adapt to the situations.
We have community radio stations. We also have door-to-door information drives.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour, and now it's time to get you all the latest from the world of business. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq ended sharply lower on Thursday, weighed down by a slump in chipmaker Nvidia after its quarterly report failed to rekindle Wall Street's AI rally. Nvidia dropped after the Silicon Valley company gave a weaker than expected quarterly forecast for gross margin that overshadowed an upbeat revenue outlook. The launch of low-cost artificial intelligence models from China's DeepSeek in January has cooled Wall Street's AI rally, while an analyst report this week suggesting Microsoft was scrapping some data center leases that also raised concerns of AI overcapacity. The S&P 500 lost 1.59%, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 2.78%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.45%. Group of 20 finance ministers and central bank governors closed their meeting in Cape Town on Thursday without reaching a consensus on a communique, instead agreeing to a chair summary. In the two-day meeting, South Africa had hoped to make the G20 a platform for putting pressure on rich countries to do more to tackle climate change and to give more towards poorer countries' transitions to green energy and reform a financial system that favors investment banks at the expense of poor sovereign debtors. But the talks were overshadowed by the absence of several key finance chiefs and foreign aid cuts by major economies against a backdrop of rising geopolitical tensions. G20 countries account for 85% of global gross domestic product and 75% of international trade. South Africa's finance minister said he was not happy the G20 meeting could not issue a joint communique.
The matter which gave occasion to the lack of consensus was the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I didn't mention the countries. I said, what is the matter giving occasion to that? I can say now there are specific matters which will be of general challenge. I mentioned, for instance, one of them is climate finance as of particular importance. I'm not going to say which country stands what on which point. Climate finance is one of the issues.
OpenAI has launched a research preview of its latest AI model, GPT 4.5, for pro users and developers worldwide. With enhanced pattern recognition, creative insight generation, and improved emotional intelligence, the model represents a significant leap forward. CEO Sam Altman called it a giant expensive model, revealing that GPU shortage have delayed a full rollout. OpenAI plans to expand access in the coming weeks, prioritizing ChatGPT Plus and team users first, followed by enterprise and edu users. Now, notably, GPT 4.5 has a lower hallucination rate than its predecessors, reducing false information. While supporting file and image uploads, coding and writing, it currently lacks voice and video capabilities. Now let's get you all the latest from the world of sports, to begin with cricket first. Afghanistan will look forward to continue their flawless run in the Champions Trophy as they now gear up for a crucial clash against Australia in Lahore on Friday, knowing that a victory would secure them a historic semi-final berth. Fresh from eliminating England with a thrilling 8-run victory, Afghanistan's confidence is soaring as they prepare to face the reigning world champions. Though Afghanistan has never beaten Australia in ODI cricket, they would be confident as they got the better of the Aussies in a crucial T20 World Cup encounter last year. Australia, meanwhile, remain well placed for a semi-final spot after defeating England and having their game against South Africa washed out. So even if today's match is rained out, the Australians will progress, while Afghanistan will have to rely on net run rate or other results. Staying on cricket, Delhi Capitals announced former England captain Kevin Pietersen as their mentor for Indian Premier League 2025. The franchisee made the announcement on social media, confirming the return of one of their most sought-after former player. Kevin Pietersen will work closely with head coach Hemang Badani, who was roped in for the new season. Delhi Capitals have gone through a complete overhaul of their coaching structure after parting ways with Ricky Ponting at the end of last year's IPL edition. Now, one of the most talented players of his generation, the 10th world chess champion Boris Spassky, has passed away at the age of 88. Spassky held the title of world championship from 1969 to 1972 when he lost it to American Bobby Fischer in a contest later dubbed as Match of the Century. Spassky showed great sportsmanship during the match in the midst of the Cold War, which he lost despite winning the first two games. He applauded Fischer after losing the sixth game. Spassky has represented France in 3 chess Olympiads in 1984, 86 and 88 and was seen playing in the Jardin Luxembourg in Paris during the 1990s. Spassky had been the oldest living world chess champion so far. In tennis, Talon Grigspor defeated top-seeded Daniil Medvedev to reach the semi-finals of the ongoing Dubai Championships. Grigspor had survived a first-round encounter with Roman Safiyalin by saving 3 match points. He then eliminated defending champion Hugo Humbert on Monday. Meanwhile, Stefanos Tsitsipas advanced to the semi-finals following a tight victory over Italian Matteo Berrettini. Fourth seed Tsitsipas took the opener in a tie-break before overcoming a second-set flip en route to a 7-6, 1-6, 6-4 victory. Tsitsipas will next meet Talon Grigspor. In soccer, Bundesliga leaders Bayern Munich will face Stuttgart on Friday ahead of their Champions League last 16 first-leg tie against Bayer Leverkusen. Bayern have won 8 of their last 9 league games and have 58 points, which is 8 more than second-place Leverkusen. The game in Stuttgart is crucial for Bayern to maintain their positions in the standings. In a major setback, Bayern will be without defensive midfielder Joshua Kimmich, who has not yet recovered from a thigh injury. And Fenerbahce manager Jose Mourinho was handed a 4-match ban and fined by the Turkish Football Federation following his comments about Turkish referees. The TFF fined the 62-year-old Portuguese manager $44,000 after he criticized the match officials in a press conference following the 0-0 Super League draw on Monday. The TTF said Mourinho's remarks violated sports ethics, promoted violence and disorder and could incite fan incidents. Fenerbahce issued a statement on Tuesday defending Mourinho, saying his comments were taken out of context and deliberately distorted. Mourinho was previously also been fined and suspended for his comments about Turkish match officials. And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from the country and the world on the DD India mobile app. We'll be back as news breaks here on DD India. Thank you so much for watching DD India News Hour this morning. Namaskar.